Hey guys, so today I'm filming another look for my cousin, same cousin. This time it's going to be slightly bolder, but it's still going to be with neutrals and browns. So I already have my foundation and concealer on, as well as some brow product. I have primed my eyes with the Color Max 3-in-1 base, and I also have on my upper lash line some of the Nior pencil eyeliner that I smudged a little bit. You can skip the eyeliner step if you already have very thick lashes or if you're going to apply a liner on top, but I prefer to just have some pencil liner like underneath my eyeshadow so that I still get some definition without it looking too much. I'm actually going to start with applying some highlighter, contour, and blush. I usually don't contour my face, but my cousin wanted to get pictures done with this look, so I think she would probably prefer to have some contour. I'm going to start with a highlighter, and I'm going to apply it based on what would suit her face shape. I would usually contour and highlight my own face a little bit differently, but so for her face shape, I would highlight right here, going like meeting up the brow bone a little bit and then going down, but I'd stop here. I wouldn't bring it in too close here because she already has rounded cheeks. Also, she has oilier skin, so if I bring the highlighter in too close to the nose, it would look too oily. So I would stop right there and concentrate most of the glow over there. Same thing on the other side. I'd focus most of the product over here and then bring a little bit there. I don't like highlighting my brow bone with a shimmer too much, but I do like connecting this part with the highlighter. I think it looks a bit more natural that way. And then again, she has a longer and sharper nose than I do, so I would just highlight over here on her face, just so that there is some light across the nose as well, and it doesn't look like your nose is too matte. But I wouldn't bring it down or on the tip. I would usually highlight my own tip right here, but on her face shape, she already has a longer and sharper nose, so she doesn't need that. She just needs a little bit of highlight right there. Then I have a shorter forehead, so usually I apply quite a bit of highlighter on my own forehead, but she doesn't have that problem. So for her, I would just apply a little bit here and here. And I would usually highlight my own chin, but I wouldn't highlight it on her because again, she has oilier skin and she doesn't have a shorter face like I do. So that's it for highlight. Then for contouring, for her face shape, I would just take it right here. So where her bone is, right almost on the bone, not as much underneath it, because she does have quite wide cheekbones. So if you go too low, it gets too close to the jawline and then it drags the face down too much. So I would apply it just here. I would start at the hairline and then blend it in, but I would stop right there, so the outside of the eye, because again, if I bring it in too much towards the center, it would drag her face down too much. Same on the other side. And stop it right there. Then I would also apply some on her. I'd apply some on the forehead. I usually wouldn't contour my own forehead because I feel like on me it's not really necessary, but on her, she can get away with it. She doesn't have a super short forehead like I do, so. And again, on her face shape, I would bring the contour just here and just here, and then I would take a bigger brush. I'd take this one and I'd blend it. I'm not applying too much on my own face because otherwise I'm going to look really weird. And blend a little bit here as well. Then for blush, I'm going to take this, no, I'm going to take the same brush and I'm just going to clean it off on a paper towel. And then I'm going to take a little bit of blush, tap off the excess, and I would focus it mostly over here. Sometimes I do bring my blush in more, but on her face shape it would round off her cheeks too much. So I would focus the color here, but then I would blend the edges to make sure that there's no harsh lines. And I do like applying my highlighter first because I like a softer highlight look, and I like blending my blush into the highlight. If you like a more intense highlighted look, you can apply your highlighter after your blush. I'm looking at the screen to do my makeup. That's probably not the smartest thing to do. Let me grab a mirror. Looks fine. So that's all I'm going to do for my face. Let me move on to the eyes. I am going to do, again, a brown look, but it would be a little bit more intense than I usually do. Is my primer creased? Okay. So I'm going to actually start with the dark brown, and I'm going to apply it right at the outer corner of the eye, right there. And I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to see where my crease is, like where my crease folds, and I'm going to bring the eyeshadow slightly higher until I can see just a hint of the brown when I have my eyes open, but not too high. When you're blending the eyeshadow, it will get higher than that, but you don't want to apply the initial color up quite that high, otherwise you're going to have a more unblended and harsh effect. So I'm going to place the dark shade right there, and I'm going to match it up to the other side. do stop and look into the mirror with your eyes open every now and then to make sure that things are where they need to be. And if you make a mistake, you can always blend. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to take a brush and apply my brow bone highlight first. I usually like to do that for more intense neutral looks so that the eyeshadows have something to blend into and so that the eyeshadows don't blend up too high. And I also like to apply some here just to brighten up the area, and again to make sure that the eyeshadows don't blend up too high over there. You can use any brush for this. I'm just using a brush that came with an ABH palette. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same brush I applied the dark shade with. I dropped something. It didn't break, so everything's fine. I'm going to clean it off on a paper towel, again, as I said. And I'm going to use the same brush to blend. I mostly do this because I don't like washing brushes, but also you don't really need that many brushes to do an eye look. So I'm just going to blend out the outer edges of the brown. Just tap and blend. Don't have too many wide movements with your brush like this. Just keep it short and close together. That would help make sure that the eyeshadow stays where you want it to stay. So just keep blending. Again, look in the mirror straight off and see where the eyeshadow placement is. Then I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to dip into like a mid-tone warm brown. You can also use your bronzer for this step. And I'm going to apply that on the outer edges where I blended up the brown. And bring it in up to here. Work with a little bit of product at a time, especially when you're doing eye looks that are bolder or that have deeper or brighter colors. And then once you've applied that mid-tone brown or bronzer, whichever you prefer, take the brush that you applied your brow bone highlight with and go on the edges between the brow bone highlight and the mid-tone brown. Just to make sure you have a nicer blend. And if you did blend up the color too high, you can blur those edges too. Like, I think I applied it too high over here. I'm just going to blend it. If you apply too much color, you can always go back in with your brow bone highlight and apply some more. But usually if you just blend on top of it, it would be fine. Then once we are here, I'm going to take a little bit of the mid-tone brown and a little bit of the dark brown, tap of my brush. I actually like pressing the brush onto my hand just to take the excess pigment off. And then I'm going to blend right at the crease between the dark brown and the mid-tone brown. And I also like to tap here. You don't need to do this if you apply a really high impact shimmer shade that would cover this edge, but I still like to do that. Sometimes when you're doing makeup, especially bolder makeup, your makeup looks really crazy at first until you put the finishing touches on, and then suddenly it looks perfect. But that initial ugly phase I don't like. It gives me anxiety, so I like blending the edges between everything at every step. That does take more time and effort, but I am just weird like that. So again, look in the mirror, see how you can even out both eyes. And keep blending. I like a slightly lifted shape right here. If you like a more rounded shape, you can also do that. And if you like applying a lot of eyeshadow on the lower lash line, you can also do that. Up to you. I did apply a little bit of like a peachy shade on my lower lash line. I usually don't do a heavy lower lash line unless it's for Instagram or something. I just feel like in real life it looks a bit more smoky than I want. But I guess I will apply some today because why not? So I'm going to concentrate again with the same brush. I'm just pinching it with my fingers and using it to apply some on the outer part of my lower lash line. I make really funny faces when I apply eyeshadow on the lower lash line. And you might not know it, but so do you. I guess we cannot help it. So yeah, that's it for the darker shade. Again, I'm going to take the same brush I applied my actually I'm going to take this brush and like a fluffy brush, and I'm going to dust off my face. I think I got a little bit of fallout, but that is okay. If you're doing colorful eye looks, especially with the blues and like cool tone purples, cool tone greens, things like that, I would recommend doing your eyes first, because fallout can make your under eyes look like you have a bruise or you have really dark under eye circles. And if you don't want that, just do your eye makeup first, but that's okay. Again, I'm going to take the brush I applied my brow bone highlight with. It doesn't have any additional product, and I'm just going to blend on the edges. I'm not even touching the dark brown. I just want to make sure there's no eyeshadow where I don't want it. So yeah. And then I'm going to go in with the shimmers. Now you can just apply your shimmer with a brush or with your finger, or use a setting spray to make it more intense. I'm actually going to go back in with my eyeshadow primer. You can also use like a shimmery cream eyeshadow or something, anything creamy. And I'm just going to apply some of it on my lid where I want the most intense shimmer, and also a little bit on the inner corner, but mostly again on the lid. This will help the shimmer shade stick better and make it more intense. I am going to take a flat brush and just blend it out so that it's a sheer even layer. You don't need a lot of product to do this. I'm not trying to do a cut crease with it. I am just applying a little bit of a cream product so that the shimmer shade has something tacky to cling to, just to make it a bit more intense. Again, same on this side. If you use a liquid eyeshadow primer, a clear one like from Urban Decay or Milani or Too Faced, you can still do this step with that. Just again, apply some on the back of your hand, take a little bit of it with the brush, and make sure you only apply a thin layer. You don't need a lot of product for this step. Then I'm going to take a nude shimmer. I'm just going to use Urban Decay since it's in this palette. And I'm going to apply some on the inner corner, and then take it up to my lids. Can you see what I'm doing? I hope you can see and hear me, because I don't have time to film this again. Same thing on the other eye. you're doing your own makeup, make sure you hold your mirror like below your chin and angled up, and then look down on it. That would reveal more of your eyelids, and it will also keep your eyelids like pulled tight so that it's easier for you to apply and blend eyeshadow. And then when checking how it looks with your eyes open, just bring the mirror up high and you can see what you look like to other people when you're just walking around with your head held high. I do like bringing my shimmer shades up a little bit higher than my lids, just because, again, this part of my eye does fold back, so it opens up my eyes a little bit, and my eyelids on this eye are less visible than this one, so when I apply some shimmer like right on the edge here, it makes them look more even. So yeah, that's when you want to stop, when your eyes look like that, when you look down. Then we are going to take the same tiny blending brush thing, clean it off again on a paper towel. You do want to be working with clean brushes. If you already have a lot of eyeshadow on the brush when you're going in to blend, it can apply more product and make it look choppy and unblended. So I'm first going to take it on the edge between where I have the mid-tone brown and where the shimmer is, and just blend the edges so that it's a softer look, because again, I don't really want a cut crease effect on me. I think it looks nice for pictures, but I think for events and stuff, on my eye shape it doesn't really work the best. Again, same thing on the other eye. And a little bit more on this side. Take your time and don't worry about it. And if one side of your eye takes longer to blend than the other side, that's fine. Most of us don't have completely symmetrical eyes, and even if they look symmetrical, sometimes the skin on your eyelids can be slightly different, so sometimes eyeshadow doesn't apply and blend the same on both eyes, so have some patience with yourself. Makeup is supposed to be fun. And then take the same brush and tap it in between the shimmer shade and the brown shade. You don't need to swipe back and forth, just tap. That would help the two of them blend into each other so that you don't have a harsh line. And that's how we look so far. Then I'm going to take the same brush I applied my lid shade with, and I'm going to take a little bit and apply it on my lower lash line, just here. My eyes are closer together a little bit, and also I have a deep hollow here, so I like to brighten up my inner eyelid area. So I like applying a little bit of highlighter right here, or a little bit of a highlight shade right here. I think it opens up my eyes a bit more, and I like that look. If your eyes are already further apart, you might not need to do that. Or if you like a super smoky lower lash line all over, then that's fine too. And that's how it looks. I will be applying mascara, and maybe after applying mascara, I'll take a picture and use that as a thumbnail photo so that you can see how this looks like with mascara on, because mascara definitely completes an eye look, but I don't like applying mascara on camera. I always think it looks weird when people do, even though you want to see the effect of a mascara applied live. I think it just looks weird. But yeah, that's the finished look. I do have a tinted lip balm on my lips again, but you can use whatever lip color you want. Even though it's like slightly darker of an eye look, it's still neutral enough that you can pair it with any sort of lipstick that you would prefer. I just don't have a lipstick handy, do I? I don't. So we're just going to end the video here. I hope you guys, whoever's watching, enjoyed watching this, and I hope that this was helpful for my cousin. That's all for today. I'll talk to you guys again later. Bye guys.